Hey everyone, hope you're having a wonderful day today. Well, today we're going to be talking a little bit about banana, as I have my boy Anubis with me here today. And I've done a lot of showing you guys the different banana morphs that I've been producing so far this year. And I made mention that I would discuss just a little bit more in depth about the sex linking that is associated with the banana morph. So that's what we're going to talk more about today. So stick around. I'm Jack, and you're watching Python Addiction. Hey everyone, thanks for joining today. Anubis is sitting over here up on the wall, as you can see, scrolling up a little bit here. He's just kind of hanging out, and I want to talk a little bit about banana ball pythons and the genetic oddity that comes with their particular morph. Now, in the ball python industry, to date that I know of, and there could be others, but from all of the research that I've done, there's banana ball pythons and coral glow, which is, in my book, the same thing as banana. It just might be another line of banana, but they are completely compatible with each other, and they're very hard to tell apart, at least from my eyes. And they have been interbred for a while. So when I say banana today, I'm referring to both banana and coral glow with everything that I'm talking about. Banana is a unique morph. Its morph, when you look at the genetics and you break down where it is on the chromosomes in the ball python genetics, it is in the same chromosome as the gender is for ball pythons. And ball pythons essentially have two chromosomes that identify gender. If you have one of each, then you're a boy. If you have two of the same one, you're a girl. It's not exactly that, so please don't quote me on that. It's a little bit more complicated, but it's essentially the same XY type of structure that we have associated with, like, mammals, with an X and a Y. And if you get XX, you're one gender. If you're XY, you're another gender. So what does that have to all deal with when it comes to having a boy like Anubis here, who's a male maker ball python? Well, the thing is where does the visual the actual visual banana come from? Helps to determine whether or not they're a male maker, a female maker, or if they're female, on how you can make that determination. He is a male maker because the gene for him is on the male determinant chromosome for him, which means his father, it came from the male side, so it went perpetual from one line to the next. And it could have at some point in time came from mom, but all successive male offspring from any of those generations are going to be boys, because that banana gene also lays at that chromosome that makes him a boy. Specifically, because again, for the snakes, like I said, if you have one of each, then you're going to be a boy. If you have two of the same, you're going to be a girl. And I'm going to use X and Y essentially as the foundation, even though generally speaking they use Z's and W's in the actual industry. And if you really want to get very, very in-depth into this, I invite you to reach out to RGI, Rare Genetics Incorporated, and go ahead and talk to Bob or Ben over there. Reach out to them and send Ben an email. He'll geek out with you all day long about the genetics and the very, very nitty-gritty when it comes to the sex determination aspect of how you can tell with male makers and female makers with ball pythons. I'm just kind of doing a very, very simplistic, easy to understand aspect of things. So we're going to pretend X's are specifically for females and Y's are specifically for males in this example. So for females, you need two X's. For males, you need an X and a Y. For a male maker, that genetic characteristic for banana needs to be on that Y. So when he goes and reproduces, anything that shows up visual as a banana will have to have come from the Y chromosome, which means that that snake that you're looking at has to be a boy, because it'll have one X from mom, because mom always contributes an X, and dad is contributing either an X or a Y, because he can't contribute both, and only one of the two genes actually has the banana morph on it. Now, if he were a female maker, then that would mean he would still have the banana gene because it's on one of the two sex-linked chromosomes as a boy, but it would be on the X instead. So if he were a female maker and every visual banana that you got was born would then be a female. Now, there are what are known in the genetic industry as crossover events, and I'm not going to really get into those, but it's the reason why I still check and verify the gender of every one of my bananas, because you never know. Nature has funny things that happen, and on a rare occasion, you can still get a female banana ball python from a male maker, and vice versa. You can still get a male ball python from, or a male banana from a female maker type of thing. Now, what happens when it comes to female ball pythons that are bananas? That's the kicker. Females, every last one of their babies is always going to get an X automatically. So, if that female, it depends on which X that is in them that has the actual gene. The only way both X's can have the banana on there is, number one, that ball python that we're talking about would have to be a super banana, and it would have to be a super banana to where you actually had a female banana bred to a female or a female maker male ball python in order to get that XX that is also both sides being banana. Then everything that you make from that clutch would already, number one, be banana by default because of it being super. But everything that was in that clutch would also be a female maker. So there's a lot of different things to take into consideration in looking at how sex linkage actually works when you're working with the banana ball python. So I have a female ball python, but when she gives birth, some of her babies can be female and some can be male and still be visual because she's contributing that X to every single one of her offspring by default when she's going through and contributing her portion of the chromosomes to the egg. The male that I pair her to is then contributing either an X or a Y to the gender aspect of things to determine the actual gender on that respect there. So it's a gamble on, am I going to get a female or am I going to get a male, on knowing what I'm going to get when it comes to each of the bananas that come out. But if I get male ball pythons from a female that is breeding and that has produced, then those ball pythons will all be female makers. So it can get a bit confusing when you take the gene that is responsible for, and he's cruising up there pretty good. Come down here, boy. Come down here. I got you. When you take the gene that produces this absolutely gorgeous pattern and everything, because I love the banana pattern and the morph as a whole. But when you take this and then you mix it in with the aspect of the gender on top of things, it creates a different level of complexity that is unique in the ball python industry compared to working with any of the other genes that we work with, because none of the other genes work in the same way when it comes to them being specifically linked to the gender. So that's kind of what I wanted to discuss today, just a little bit. Let me know in the comments below if what I discussed or how I discussed it made any sense at all to you, or if it's still a whole bunch worth of mumbo jumbo that means absolutely nothing. I'm not sure if I made it make sense or if it sounded like it made sense, but I would like to know in the comments below. Otherwise, if you liked today's video, that was a little bit more sciencey and nerdy, give me a like. Let me know that you liked today's video, hitting that thumbs up. And if you've made it into this video this far, and if you haven't done so already, as always, I want to ask you, please subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, hit that subscription button, as that'll let you know when I do new videos. I tend to do new videos at least once a week. But until next time, I'm Jack. This is my boy Anubis. I love you all. You've been watching Python Addiction. Say goodbye, everyone.